You guys, like, he's like, don't be talking to them. I was like, okay. And then they would beat me. No, and they would beat me. And so he's like, you see, look at your tail. I'm like,
right.
And so he was like, we're on a mission. So he kind of started instilling that in me. It was like hard for me to lose because I was winning. Mm-hmm. So when I lost, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know. Yeah, that was like second place at nationals. I thought this is the end of the world. I was like, I don't want that. I was like, no. Like, you're first, you're last. When I tell you I was on that mission.
You're not first, you're like,
right. I was just like, no one's beating me. Like, I was like, the only way you're going to beat me if I beat myself. And I was like, that's not happening because my bad is still better than your good. Right. And that was from being arrogant. He taught me all the arrogance and stuff. But it did help me because SEC, I mean, it's a dog world out there. Like, you know, no one's guaranteed to win. And someone's trying to, like, you know, take your championship from you anytime you get track meet that you have to be your best at. Like, you know, usually
one
like
day, right?
One day, yeah, literally. It's like, you know, it's
That's
like
crazy,
you don't have to be perfect, but it's like you have to. So just imagine like you can.
Perfect, but you have to.
You have to. Like, literally, it's like if you slip up, you're done.
Haha, we back.
Yes, sir.
This is the Evergreen Podcast. Y'all ready?
Yes, sir. Let's go.
I'm ready. I feel good, man. What, episode 6?
6, man. We made six and we ain't kill each other yet.
6, and I'm telling you, man, we ain't fussing. Well, we kind of fuss a little bit, but we ain't arguing nothing, man. It's been good, bro.
I'm waiting for that first argument.
You waiting for it, huh?
I'm ready too.
I don't know when Swag went at Tom Brady, bro. I was ready to come across the table.
I saw you look down. Dante looked down. It's like, okay, I'm not gonna say nothing to this man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but we here, man. Evergreen Podcast. We call it the Evergreen Podcast because though we talk about current events, the subject line that we talk about are always relevant to whatever time, 10, 15, 20 years from now. What we talking about will still be relevant to life in general. So we're here. I am DM. Right to my left is Doug. To my far right is Dante. And right here next to me, come on, Dante, tell them who she is, man.
Man, introducing.
we need the special intro, you hear me?
Introducing from Hartsville, Alabama.
Alabama.
By way of the University of Alabama Crimson Tide.
Roll Tide.
Track and field. National champion.
2 times.
2 times.
Times 2.
Say it with your chest. Let's go.
U.S. indoor champion. 1 time.
1 time. Okay.
And now currently our first time Olympian.
Yeah.
Miss Quanesha Burks.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give a round of applause.
So 3-time champion. Wow.
4-time SEC champion.
4-time SEC champion. She didn't tell me all that. See, I didn't know that. Now I'm starting to sweat. The Olympian was enough for me, but now all these championships is like, whoa, okay. So it's good to have you. We're happy to have you here. We'll get into a little bit, some more questions and everything, but we good, man. Y'all follow the Evergreen Podcast. What, you want to say something, Doug? We got a public service announcement.
Yeah, we got a PSA. I'm looking right this camera right
Look
here.
at that camera right there. There's your camera right there, bro.
You know, for everybody that's on my story and viewing
hold
it.
on. Let me turn the music down.
Yeah, turn it down. I need to hear this. Everybody's on my story that's viewing it. I'm talking about my close friends. People I've been knowing 20-something years. I'm 34. Yeah, I just said my age. I'm 34 years old. We've been friends almost our whole life. Stop viewing my page. Stop looking at it. Stop ghost following. And when you see that Evergreen pull up, click the Evergreen and give us a follow.
Give us a follow. Say it again. Doug.
Give us a follow. It's free to follow, bro.
It's free to follow.
Period.
It's free to follow.
Stop Instagram hating,
Stop
bro.
Instagram hating.
Don't hit that follow button, bro. We got good material. Look, we in the 6th episode.
Come on.
We got Olympian already.
Let's go.
We got Olympian already. You know what I'm saying? We got Olympian already in the 6th episode.
Talk your talk, Doug.
How many people can say that? 6th episode.
Talk your
What's
talk,
happening?
Doug. Talk your talk.
Man, while we here on the follow train, Quanesha, go ahead, give them nothing.
Yeah.
Go put out the Instagram, the Twitter, the TikTok. I know you big on there. Go ahead.
Yes, Instagram Q_Burks BURKS.
Oh my God, who
yes.
am I sitting next to?
I feel you with the follows because literally last week I had 9,000 followers and I'm at 28,000.
You better be 28,000.
You don't feel me with them followers. I don't have that many followers. First off, so no, we ain't on the same page. We're not on the same page. We're coming to that.
But I feel you because I will get those people that will share my stories. So who you sharing it to?
Right.
Like, what are you doing?
That's true.
And I see people I'm not following, you're not following me, but you view my story every single day.
Absolutely.
Just follow.
Man, that's aggravating. That's aggravating, bro.
They're haters.
They are haters. It's ghost followers.
So you gotta give them something.
I was telling somebody the other day, like half the majority of people that follow you, just in general want to see like where you gonna mess up at. Cause we were talking about this earlier, like with just athletes in general, like they may have 50,000 followers, but half of them see you messed up.
She lied. She got 41,000.
41.
TikTok. That's TikTok.
Oh, TikTok. Okay.
Yeah, TikTok.
Boom.
I gotta get a TikTok.
I'm just saying, man.
Why y'all don't have TikTok?
I don't have one.
Y'all gotta get a TikTok.
I'm on
You
there.
on TikTok?
Yeah,
I follow you enough, man.
I'm not
I follow
famous
you
at all,
enough.
so don't.
I follow you in real life.
Hey, just
I follow
follow
you on Instagram.
Hey, just follow
I
me
follow
on
you in
there.
real. I follow you enough, man.
Yeah, just follow me on there so I can be connected to some TikTok famous people. I'm gonna do some dances or something.
TikTok can get you out there.
It sure
TikTok
can.
really. It just takes one video.
Hey, we need to do Evergreen TikTok then for sure. Man. We're gonna do one.
Really?
So while we're here, I think that's a good jumping off spot.
Yep.
To ask you a question. Had with the current NIL situation in NCAA now, right? How big could you think you could have capitalized back in your jumping days for the University of Alabama?
I definitely think I could have capitalized a lot because it's Alabama, and after winning my first national title, everyone wants to take you out or do anything. You couldn't go to dinner with them. You just couldn't do anything at all. I think with Alabama though, just me being an athlete at Alabama, I didn't get I got attention, but not as much because the football players.
Yeah, right.
Now I can speak for them. They already capitalized on it.
Right, they were capitalized.
Ain't no way you driving a bike and now you got a Mercedes Benz, but whatever.
Right.
But no, definitely. I think that a lot of athletes could have capitalized on it for sport. I mean, track and field in particular. Everyone loves football and basketball, so they're always gonna get the attention. But I definitely think I could have a lot. But I was even scared, when I would go home and someone would take me out to dinner, I was scared to go because with NCAA rules, you just don't want to get risk, losing your eligibility and anything like that.
That's crazy.
So
They would check in on all that stuff like that, like somebody, little small stuff like that.
Oh yes. Yes,
Wow.
Even with your
That's
coach,
crazy.
if you and your coach going to dinner and stuff, you just never know who's watching anything,
Right,
and you just want to make sure no one's trying to get you at all. But
Sheesh.
it was stressful, and so when I would have
I definitely
conversations,
got kicked out. It would have been over. Take me to dinner, man. We going to eat.
You would have made it.
I wouldn't have made it, bro.
First week you'd have been gone.
I'd have been gone. I wouldn't have made it.
Right.
We going where? Okay.
So Q, I know you big time. You got the big Sports Illustrated spread, right?
Hold on, what?
Yeah.
Man, y'all, why y'all ain't? I don't even know who I'm sitting by right now. Oh my god! Oh my god!
The Sports Illustrated. Matter of fact, we'll put we'll put the link in for the Sports Illustrated in the description for this podcast. But if you don't mind, just giving us some Cliff Notes version of you growing up to now.
yeah, for sure, definitely. Because this story is going pretty viral right now, and they're labeling it as American Dream. But definitely I had to work at a young age to provide for my family. And honestly, I was just talking about, he just wanted to know my story. He was just tell me your story. And as I was telling him, I just realized how far I've come in life. But I didn't have the ideal family, college. I was the first person in my family to go to college.
Wow.
And I was raised by my grandparents. And and I have two baby sisters, so I'm 26 and they're 11 and 13 right now.
Wow, okay.
And so they were 1 and 2,
right?
babies. And so just seeing how my family was living check to check every day, I was I want to do something different. And I went to a school that was, predominantly white. And so everyone was talking about, I'm going to the University of Alabama, I'm going to Auburn University, I'm going to Ole Miss. And me, I was y'all going to college? Okay. Oh, wow. And so,
Y'all wilding out.
yeah,
Y'all going to college?
So y'all not going to stay here and just get a job?
That's funny.
No, really. And so, honestly, being around, my friends, knowing that they were going to college, I was well, I want to go to college too.
Right.
And I was wait, how much is college? I was
Wait, all y'all paying for this?
literally.
Right.
So I was so y'all just what do you mean you're going to college? Who's going to pay
Your
for
people
this?
paying for this?
Yeah. And they were the families, they were going the visits there. So we're going
All that
towards the
good stuff, right.
school. And I was I can't do all that. And I was it's $100,000. Who's paying for this?
Right.
And that was their least concern. And so seeing how my friends were so excited to apply for college, I was I want to go to college. But I was my family how are you going to go?
Right.
So then I was just all right. So I was sports. I was like, sports I'm good at. So I was playing basketball, and I was like, I'm good at scholarship for basketball.
I heard you was a hooper too, though.
Yeah, now listen, let me tell you, I'm good. I'm 5'4", but
You hooping, huh? What position? What you played?
point guard.
Point guard,
man.
Point guard
out here. Point guard out here.
Let me tell you, my defense, I'll lock anybody down. Okay, you can look on YouTube right now, and I'm over here locking them down.
Oh, okay.
No, we're gonna let you go to the Olympics. When you come back, we're gonna find the gym.
Come on now. Like, basketball is my heart, but like, you know, when it came to like making layups, I miss them all. But I was just going so fast. They're like, slow down, Q, and I'm like, but you know, like I was a hooper. So me and my friends, like, we're going to go play for Pat Summit, Tennessee. And I was like, that's the goal. I was like, I'm going to go to college for basketball. And I started getting, I went on an unofficial visit to South Alabama. And then I realized, I was like, I'm 5'4". I was like, I can't get anywhere with this.
Start looking around.
Yeah, I'm like, what is this? And then, you know, my friends were like talking about going to big schools.
Right.
So I was like, I want to go to a big school, not like, you know, knocking South Alabama at all.
Right.
So then I started running track just, you know, to run track, like just to stay in shape for basketball. And I was nervous if I would make like the track team. I was like, oh my gosh, what if I don't make the team? And then I just started winning and winning state like 8th grade year, and then all the way in high school.
Wow.
And I was moved to varsity. So then my coach was like, you know, you can like go to college for this. And I was like, college?
What?
I was, you know, that was my goal.
Connected it. Yeah, you connected
Yeah, like college, because basketball is not it. So I'm like, what do you talk about? And he was just like, is there a school you want to go to? And I was like, I want to go to a big school. So we like spent a day and just started looking up like what it takes to be on a partial scholarship or full scholarship. And I had them goals. So I was like, I need to jump this, I need to run this and this. And so I didn't tell anyone about it besides my coach. And I just honestly was determined to like make it happen. Yep. And so everyone like, okay, so yeah, you just worked hard and like did it. But no, I had the, you know, my family thing. So like I would get up at like 4:30 every morning, take my grandma to work, like drive 30 minutes out to take her to a nursing home, come back, get my sisters ready, take their baths, put them on clothes, take them to school. And their school like open up like 8:15. And I would have to be at my school at 8:30. So I would have to hurry up and check them in and then drive to make it. So I won't like, you know, get tardy. And so I had so many tardies one time. And the principal called me in and was like, you have a lot of tardies. They're concerned. And I was like, y'all just don't understand. Like, I have to be there for my sisters. So like, just hear me out. Like, I'm not doing anything bad. I'm just like, I got to take my sisters to school. If I don't take them, they're not going to get there. Right. And so they understood. And so literally after I get to school, I go to class, and then I would either have basketball or track practice, and right after that, I would go to work from 4 to 10, and then I go back home and do it every day. And so at that moment, just like $100 check every 2 weeks. But
can I pause you right here? Now, Doug, you and I, we work with a lot of young kids, right?
Right.
Do you know anybody that's gonna be grinding like that right now?
No, and that's why when I was hearing tell a story, like for all the young athletes that listen to this. And look, they all enamored by these huddle accounts and going to all these camps, whether it's football, basketball, or track, you know, summer track. I don't think they really know what it takes to perform at an elite level. So, like for you, what can you tell them? What does it really mean to sacrifice and be dedicated in your craft? Because you can say you want it, but explain some of the things that obviously I heard what you had to do in high school, but like in college, what were some of the things and the sacrifices that you had to make in order to be where you are now?
Yeah, because you know what? I got almost I almost fell for tardies too. Like tardies, yeah.
Now,
but I wasn't. I was just oversleeping. So I wanted to jump in and be like, yeah, me too. Then you was like 4 o'clock. I was like, nah, that wasn't my style right there. You got that.
No.
But yeah, what do you say?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely the difference that separated me from everyone in college, because I feel like a lot of superstars, you know, they get recruited. They're like, they want the offers. And I see a lot now on social media. Everyone's like, my 15 offer, this and this. And it's like, I feel like just doing a lot of clout. Like, my thing, I was like, I'm just trying to see who's gonna give me a full scholarship. I don't care who it is. I just want a full scholarship so my family don't pay for anything. But definitely in college, I could see a difference with people because they feel like they're here, they're at a big school, they made it, and they get complacent. And my coach told me, he was just like, now you're here, now you have to earn your scholarship. Wow. And I think a lot of people feel like they already earned it in high school. It's like, no, that's a year to year. Like, you got to do something. And so my freshman year, I struggled because I was like a little fish in a big pond. And I was just like, maybe I didn't make the right decision. Like SEC is hard. I was like, I'm not making finals. I'm walking off looking sad, like a little simp out here. I'm like, literally. And so then I was just kind of like, a part of me was like, you know what? This ain't it. Just go to a smaller school. You'll be a superstar. And I'm like, nah. And then I just got it together and I realized like what it's going to take. And I remember like, I don't have a plan B. I was like, this is your opportunity right now. Like you have an opportunity of a lifetime right now. You need to capitalize on this. Like you're getting your tail whoop. It's okay. But I'm like, you need to use that and like use it for good. And so after that, everything was just personal. Like my mindset changed. And I feel like people go to college and they try to like balance their social life. And so something got to give. School, social life, or track, something got to give.
That's true.
And if you got recruited and you're on a full scholarship, that's one thing you can't give up on, like the scholarship. So your social life had to go. And if your grade's not good, you're going to be ineligible. So it's the social life that's got to go.
Yeah, you got to pick one, right.
People struggle with that. And I notice it. And so one thing when I see people that come in and they like, you know, all going out, I'm like, okay, but you're not doing a good practice. And so when the season starts, they're upset with the coach when they have the end of year meeting and they're cutting them.
You've been going out,
And then they come at me like, I can't believe they're cutting me. Why? Like, you didn't do anything. And it's like disrespectful to me that been working my tail off to keep my full scholarship. And you partying doing all this, but you want to be on the same scholarship I'm on. I was like, no. But even in Alabama, I just like how like witness like even the football players, like I always say this, like Minka Fitzpatrick. He would walk in his study hall. He had a mission. That man had a purpose. Like he wasn't playing games. He would go he would go to the study hall. He'd be on time, be respectful, get his work done, and leave. And as I saw that, I was like, wow. I was like, I don't know. Mika's gonna be big time. Before knowing anything where he is now, and now to see him, like, and I asked him, like, I would talk to him. And he's like, I'm focused, and like he has his story, like, you know, his family. And I feel like when not saying you have to struggle to be successful, but when you know, like, you are the only like you are the hope for your family.
It does something, man.
It does. And like it's like something's inside of you. It's like I can't give up because there's no plan B. But a lot of people, I feel like they get so complacent in college because you're like, well, I've been sheltered, and they just go do their own thing, and then they're like, want people to feel sorry for them. But I'm like, everyone wants to be the best. But I'm like, what you gonna do? Like, what sacrifices are you making to become the best? But everyone say they want it. They post on social media like, oh, I'm doing this, all that. But behind the scenes, you're not doing anything. And I don't like that. And so that was my difference definitely in college. When I was looking at everyone, I was like, I can't be around this person because one, they're probably on a full scholarship. I'm on a full scholarship. And they can get cut if they're on a full scholarship and their family going to pay. My family going to be like,
go back
home and we're going to pray for you. And Jesus no, literally, like, we're going to pray. And that was it. And so I was like, we're two different people.
Two different people, yeah.
And I was like, I can't be around, not saying like bashing them, but I'm like,
no, you got a mission. Focus, man.
It's more like, it's like for athletes in general, in college, are you willing to have a boring experience to fulfill your dream?
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're not willing to have a boring experience, you're not going to fulfill your dream. Like all young athletes be like, well, what it was like playing in big time college, or what it's like to play at the level. How much fun did you have? Fun.
Like Soldier Boy face.
Like
fun.
Right. I mean, I can remember after the games, like this is God honest truth. Like after the games, we would go back to WCA. We chilling with our parents, eating. Everybody going out. I'm not saying we didn't go out, but it was very, very rare. So if you really having a boring experience to reach your dream, then it's for you.
Well, and I think too, anybody that's going to do anything on a high level anywhere just has to make those sacrifices. I never forget watching Kobe's Muse, right? And he said something on there. He said, he said, I might not be the best husband. He said, I might not be the best father. He said, I might have to sacrifice a lot of things on that end. But it makes, I put it into that time of being the best player, and that's why you can see it on the court. You know what I'm saying? And that stuff just makes a difference. Hearing you say this, I think it's good for a lot of young people to hear that and see it, especially when you could be gifted. I read a book years ago, it says talent is never enough. And you can be talented and gifted, but there's so many other things that you have to pack around that in order to be elite. And we talking about elite right now because we're talking about Olympics, Olympian. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the top of the top. You know what I'm saying? So I got a question. So, so you wanted to go to college and then college get a full scholarship and things. When did Olympics, did it ever hit your mind and be like, I'm shooting for that? That's where I'm going. When did it kind of hit you? Was it as soon as you got to college, you said I'm going to the Olympics too, or was it something that just kind of came along through time?
I definitely thought about it in high school.
Okay.
You know, watching the Olympics, like Lolo Jones had like a documentary, and we watched it. Like the entire track team came together. We watched it, and I was like, man, like that's amazing. I was like, I want to be Olympian. You know, you say it's always thought about it, but in college, I think it's when I jumped. When I won my first national title, and everyone was like, you know this, like you're up there like jumping like with the professionals.
Wow.
But then I was like, it's okay, like I need to graduate college. I was like, I don't care about that. Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna graduate college. Like I'm gonna be the first one in my family to graduate college. I don't care about that. And then like every year is like, you know, I started winning and just like it was consistent, and they were like, you're competing with the pros. And so then, because my plan was to graduate college. That was the ultimate goal, to make my grandma happy.
Right.
And I was like, I'll get married, have a family,
All
be a
that good stuff,
teacher.
right. All that
That's
good
it.
stuff, right.
Yeah, nothing happened like that.
Clearly, right.
No, but it definitely, I think it put like a stamp of like, this can happen when I made my first World Juniors team, my freshman year in college. And just put on that USA gear.
Freshman year.
And so it was like a World Juniors team. And I didn't get the full experience because it was in America that year. Usually it's all around the world.
Right.
But sitting there and seeing all the, like the other countries out, like, you know, competing, I was like, wow, like I'm representing America. And I was like, I want this more. I want this like on the senior. So that's when it really like initiated me, like making that team and like having my USA gear. And I still have my backpack and my uniform from that time too. Like literally a freshman. Love it. And so that's what really like kind of like gave me like the tunnels I was seeing light. That's like, I can see like, this may be you cute, like you check it out, girl. But then again, I was like, because you know I had my other mind. I was like, I need to graduate. I was like, it could be one injury, you be done. And so just how my college career went, that's when my coach set me down. It's like basically, do you want to take this to the next level or what? And so I was like, we're gonna give it a try. Let's just see. Like I mean, and then it just worked out. And now I mean, it has its ups and downs at times for sure, because people think it's just so easy to do. But you know, sometimes it's like, you know, like the sacrifice I've made like to this point. And some people like, you know, go have fun. I'm like, you can't. Like, you can't have fun, but it's like, you got to watch your diet. You got to watch this.
Sacrifice.
You're in the eye. Like in college, you know, they're like, you represent more than yourself. You represent the university. So things you have to do there. Then it's like being an Olympian now. It's like, you represent the country. Like you're out there, people watching you. People have a lot to say. So it's like, each level comes with like new rules, which is fine. But honestly, like, since I'm like, wow, I'm an Olympian. It's crazy because I can't really like, I say it, but
I see it on your face. I see it ain't wash over me.
Like, I'm an Olympian. Like, when you were introduced, I'm like, I am an Olympian. That's me. And so it's kind of like just having really
ain't nobody else sitting over here.
It haven't hit me that like I'm an Olympian.
Just
like,
the O.
Like no one's gonna take that away. And but myself when it changed my little Twitter account, I was like, oh, wow. Like Quanesha Burks, Olympian.
Right. And you deserve that. You deserve it. Yeah, put it on there, man.
It's eye-opening for sure.
Definitely. So track and field. Let's boil it down. Let's get a little technical into your sport, right? Let's start with simple. Do people understand what they're watching when they're watching like a track and field event? Because you know we've had things like the DK Metcalf and
no, they don't. Let's just go ahead and get to that.
Okay.
No,
I have no idea.
No, and can we speak on that?
Go ahead,
please do.
Go ahead, get your water. Go ahead. Oh, she revved up now.
So, just particularly with DK, the man is a freak athlete. He's amazing.
Right.
But I definitely think that people do not respect the sport. Like, they do not respect track and field. And they're like, oh, you just get out there and run. Okay, you can get out here and do it and run the times. You can't do that. And so with DK, I respect him coming out here, you know, like competing with us. And it's amazing. I mean, he got like, what, second to last or last place?
Second to last, yeah.
And people are like, well, that's fine. Like, it's 10-3. 10-3 is not getting you where.
High school.
Right.
Yeah, that's not getting you where.
Right.
And so to people's mindset, like even prior to the race, when they were like, he can run 10-0, I'm like, everyone just can't like go out here and just run 10-0 like that. And so I feel like they were disrespected the sport in a way, instead of being like, you know, weird side. Like I was happy that, you know, he wanted to join track and field and like, you know, to see what it's about, because a lot of people talk that, oh, they can do it,
but
they're not going to
experience
and so him coming out there, I give him mad props for that and respect.
Lining up,
yeah, like, because a lot of people won't, but the media, how they make it seem like it was just so easy for him like to do this, and I'm like, you're disrespecting us, like all the hard work we put in, because and we knew he wasn't going to run 10-05. Like there's no way, I'm sorry, but that's not going to happen.
Too big,
he is, and I was like, he's going to have a great like 40. It's what they do. Because every guy, what's your 40 time?
Right.
That's the conversation.
I don't
And then
run
the extreme
40s.
of it, right,
Like,
right.
literally, like, well, what's your, I don't run 40s. So I was like, his drive's going to be great. He's tall. He's going to cover ground. But when that top end speed, that's when he's going to get hit. And that's what happened. But, I mean, I respect him. Like, but I feel like the media disrespect us in a way because they just think, oh, they're coming out here. Y'all should be thankful that, you know, you guys are bringing attention. Yes, that's cool. But in the day, just put some respect on the sport.
On what we're doing,
and when he ran 10-3, everyone was like, well, that's still fast for him. But y'all was saying that he can beat us. Like, you know, because we're not saying DK time. We're saying what the Olympian, like, you know, what USA track and field professional athletes run. They're running 9.8. They're running 9.9. They're running 10 flat consistently. So he came into, you know, our, like, environment. So we want him to run the same time as us. But you're like, well, that's still good for him. What is that? Okay, where's 10-3 going to get you?
Right.
Like,
No way.
It might get you a scholarship to LSU or something.
in high school.
In high school, coming out of high school.
And so not bashing him. Like, I think I'm glad, I respect it, but I feel like media need to just put, like, you know, respect on the field, like, you know, the sport. I feel like they do not. And so a lot of football players were coming at me on social media. Like, they were coming at me. They were like, oh no, they were going in, and they were like, he gonna do this. I was like, so you really think he's gonna run 10-0? Why can't he? Okay. And so then when they saw, well, no.
Same energy.
Because 10-3 is not 10-0-5.
Right.
And so he proved the point. And I like DK how he said, he was just like, you know, I respect, you know, track and field, like, you know, and that's all we want. But I just feel like a lot of people do not understand the sport and they have a lot to say about it. They always want to put their input, but it's like, name me, like, what's a diamond league? Like, what's that? Like, okay, what's FloJo's record? Give me something. Like, list me like 6 events in track and field. 6 events. And don't say the 100. Or the mile.
Don't say that.
Yeah, like, list me. And they won't be able to do that, but they have a lot to say, and they feel like what they're saying, like, oh yeah, this is this. I'm like, you guys, like, it's okay not knowing, but don't feel like you know and just try to, like, feel like your input is like,
And run your mouth
yeah,
about it.
because I didn't know nothing about football when I went to college. And so I just sat there, and they were like, I don't know what a first down is. I don't know what a punt is. And I just shut up. But then I was like, well, let me start researching because I don't want to speak on something I don't know. And so I was just like, okay, I was like, so they get like, okay, first down. Oh, they get to do it again. So then I was like, so how would they go like for 4-1 and 4-2? But now I'm like, oh, they're really going for it. So that means they're right there. Like, they can get the first down again. And I was like, oh, punt.
That's so foreign to my mind right now. That thought process is so foreign to my mind because I watched it so much. I knew it.
Didn't know anything. So now I know. And so now I can speak on it, but I wasn't like speaking on them like, you guys suck, y'all doing that. So no, I'm not going to do that. Or y'all could get that first down. Like, because I don't know anything. And I just feel like if people educated themselves, it would be better and respect more of like what we do. Because all they see is just like a 10-second race, 11-second race. That's it. You don't see all the hard work. Like, we're literally putting all this work in to run like 11 seconds or 10 seconds. Literally. And that's all you see. And so I saw someone was like, I think Lolo, they were coming for Lolo. They were like something about like, you got 4th. I think it was T.O. or something. Like, you got 4th. I'm like, 4th? At the Olympics. Like, that's crazy. So what?
That kind of goes
after spinal surgery.
Yeah, that kind of goes with that conversation we was having about bust. Remember the first conversation we had about people calling somebody a bust in a certain league because they whatever. But you're not even doing that. You know what I'm saying? You're not even involved in it. You can't even get close to it if you got out there.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
saying? Let alone qualify to even go to trials, to even make the team, to even get to the rounds, to make it to the finals, to even say you got 4th. Like, it's steps so you can get there. And so I just feel like stuff like that is kind of like, and I've learned to just like don't really respond to them, and I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah, well, I like it because I would like for them to see some of them do it against some other players that maybe do that because I like the attention that it brought.
I love
it. And it may be something, you know, we thought we'd be coming up with ideas. Maybe something that the NCAA, maybe even the Olympics will throw out there to bring attention to track and field. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know how serious a sport it is, and you know sometimes we like to see the popular sports, that NBA, basketball, the stuff that's on TV a lot. You know what I'm saying? But bringing more attention to show what's really going on. You know what I'm saying? I like that conversation.
And speak on this real quick because going off of this, piggyback off of this, and then when they were like, well, you guys couldn't do football, like you can't. We're not trying to go into football.
Nobody said that, right?
I know I can't do football. Like, and then I'm not trying to get hit. Anyone got time for all that? And so I'm just like, we're not like, you know, coming at football or like they suck. They do. We're not. No one's saying that. Like, so it's not like, you know, they try to go back and forth with this. Like, you guys saying you guys can do our sport. It's easy.
Right.
Okay. Well, come on.
Right. We never said nothing about you.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Respecting us, right.
Yeah, like I
straight
feel,
up.
and so it's like I respect football players. Like I do, like I respect all sports.
Right.
I just feel like we all need to like respect like our sport because we all train for this and we all like put in a lot of blood, sweat, and tears for this.
Sacrifice, man.
There's so many sacrifices. Just give respect to it. But I would love if they like brought like a lot of like different.
So let's try to bring it to the world then. Okay, so your PR right now is what?
11 and 100.
No, in the long jump.
Long jump, 22 feet 10 inches.
22 feet 10 inches.
And
right?
how tall are you right now? You said how tall are you?
5'4" and a half.
5'4" and a half.
Well, they got on my USA profile that I'm 5'3", but I'm 5'4".
Give me that.
Gonna fight for the inch.
Give me that. Hey, don't play with me.
Hey, but she a long jumper. She gonna fight for every inch, right?
No, 5'4" and a half.
All right, so that's literally like you taking off from the free throw line, right?
Yeah.
And landing under the goal.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah. On an NBA court, not a high school one. On the NBA court.
See, I'm glad both of them are here.
Because I'm learning. Right.
The reason you're saying about respecting the sport, see when you hear stuff like that, so now I'm looking for that. I'm like, wait a minute,
I can kind of put it together.
She just jumped from the free throw line to the stands.
Because you can relate to it.
I can relate to it now.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what it's about being educating yourself. Because what happens is people who not educated, they don't stay in their lane.
Right.
Like stay in your lane and do what you do instead of speaking on something else that you have.
And try to learn something. Like
try to learn something from somebody else. So now if I'm thinking, well, she jumping from the free throw line. So now on Olympics, when I see you jump, I'm like, God dang, cute like jumping.
Right. And I watched one of the clips, and I still was like, I know you out the box. You know what I'm saying? But it's just I don't know how long the box is. I don't know.
And I think it goes with social media. I mean, it goes with like how we advertise our sport too. I feel like one. I mean, like you said, track and field, it doesn't get attention at all. Like only people talk about it during the Olympics. That's the only time.
Only time when somebody get popped, or that means somebody get test positive for banned substance. That's the only time they talk about it.
Yeah,
right?
and you can't blame it.
Like what does the sport have to do to get more attention and get more respect?
Man,
like, what do they have to do?
Man, I know NIL need the help. Yeah, NIL should help because that means now. Man, listen, man, let me get out there, man. Let me get out there and talk to somebody. Because you can start pumping yourself, man, and putting these companies can start doing it. Yeah. And then start bringing attention to what's going on.
And like how you just like saying like with like, you know, the court, like from a distance, like just putting stuff out there, like, because it's so easy to relate with as well. That's true. And that's what people like. They're like, man, they were able to do this. Yeah. And so I definitely think we all came apart. And like everyone has a story. And I just feel like we don't get the opportunity to really share our story either. But who wants to like, you're gonna like tune into someone's story and you don't even know what they're doing. You're like, okay, so you're jumping and saying like, I don't know the records. I don't know what this is, and I definitely feel like we need to start making like a connection, like a bridge for people to be able to understand it.
So
like,
they invite them in and let them stay for a little while until you learn something.
But we got to get on some like people need to start watching us, but then they need to put us on TV because you know they don't want to do that either. Absolutely. I see bowling tournaments before I see track and field.
That is true.
So like you would not see track and field.
No diss, but the spelling bee was on the other night, right?
We can't. I think we got on ESPN like a few times.
Yeah.
This
ATL,
year.
shout out.
Yeah.
Shout out, Paul.
American Track League. But I definitely don't think we get like, you know, enough attention. And I get it. I would say this though. I'm not someone that's go watch track and field all the time either. Yeah. Like, I mean, I'm like, we out here all day.
Right.
Like it's
boy,
hot.
my mom was going to check me. I went to check me to LSU or Southern one time.
Just be like.
And I was out there. I was like, God, wait, who running? How many more? How many more? Okay, when is?
No, you really. It's a lot going on too. So I can't blame it. But it's like just give us a chance and stuff.
Right.
Even if it's like goes like, you know, like this person jumped this and they can like put like a correlation to this.
Yes.
Or like they were running this speed because they love to like say their 40 time they were running this speed.
Right.
And all this. Okay, do it with track and field when we run out like hundreds and stuff.
Right. I think matter of fact, I think American Track League did it with one of their meets. I think matter of fact, one of the ones Micaiah Briscoe.
When they did the 40s.
Yes, they did the 40 time. They did the 40 time while they were running the 100.
Just like give them the time. See, that's good stuff that people can relate to.
I think I may change my perspective now because you're talking about putting the respect on the sport. Like for instance, if we watching any major track meet or just Olympics in general, and so I may be saying this wrong, but you watch the 100, you watch the 200, 4x1, 4x2, long jump, like the exciting events. Then when it comes to like the 1600 or something like that, I'm turning it.
Right.
I'm not about to watch this.
Right.
Yeah. But those people,
they put it in.
They put in work.
They put in work.
And so I think for me, from my perspective, I may just watch it just to see the endurance that these people actually have because I mean, to run 1,600, man, I can't even run 16 meters.
Right.
No, and so those races are good, especially at the end. They be fighting.
Right.
You still got energy to like fight through and to finish.
I'm learning a lot just in a few minutes.
When you started, I had a good question because I was like, so was it like, did you fall in love with long jump? How did it get to long jump? Like, was you like, I'm passionate about long jumping?
No. My high school coach, she was like, you should jump. I was like, I'm not jumping in sand. I was like, I don't have time for that. No. And so he was like, just try. So I was like, fine, whatever. And so I did it, and they're like, you're pretty good at it. And I was like, whatever. And so I just kept doing it just because, he wanted me to do it. And then I started making a state, and I was like, well, I think I'm kind of good at this. Yeah. No, literally. And so I'm a speed jumper. I'm 5'4". Right. So it's like, I have to have like some type of speed. So my speed is what carries me through the board. But honestly, my coach just was like, let's try long jump, and I tried it, and I was like, all right, fine, and that's how I got into it.
Explain it to me. Because speed jumper is the difference between what's the difference between speed jumper and what else? Like what else?
So you have like like jumpers that are tall. Like I'm short. I'm really short.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So
teaching me, man.
Yeah, so like they're usually tall, and so me you got to think like, I'm so short, like I have to have something to carry me, like so I can jump far. So my speed, and so my speed is like if I bring all that speed down the board, I can run through and take off and land. As in taller jumpers, they can stay in the air longer. They have their legs, they can cover ground.
Stretch out, right.
As in me, I'm like, gotta be like a bullet.
So it's a style. Style. Oh, dope.
Definitely.
I love
and so
it
all correlates to sprints as well. So that's why I sprint as well. I have to keep sprinting for. Like to jump far. So if I run fast, you jump far.
You're right.
But if I'm not in shape or fit, we don't get nowhere.
I love it. So what did you start off with track before that?
I did the 100, 200, tried the hurdles and I fell, and I was like, it was too much.
Nothing like them wall wounds, boy.
Like, I was like, I think I did 2 meets of hurdles, failed both. I said nope, and I scraped up my knee. I was like, nah, so I stopped with that.
Okay, so let's leave that in then. So I'm assuming the best track experience just happened, right?
Yes.
All right. So, but we'll let you go ahead and say it. So we want to get your best and not so best track experiences in your lifetime.
But definitely another best would have to be. Well, I don't know.
Okay.
I have a tie for the best. Actually.
Tie with the Olympian?
Yes.
I was about to say that had to be the one right there.
Like 2 weeks ago, definitely making the team. That was like a surreal moment, to make the team and to like jump the 5th round, like and jump like my furthest ever, and knowing like I'm going to Tokyo. I'm an Olympian.
Yeah.
But it ties with my junior year indoors at nationals in Birmingham.
Okay.
Because my family was there.
Oh, okay.
And the whole time,
right.
it was like I can go back to that moment. Like my entire town came down because a lot of people don't, they don't go to track meets. Right. But every time I was like, you guys, please come to Birmingham. They're having nationals here, the first time ever. And so everyone drove down, like my teachers, principal, family, everyone was there. They did not have a clue what was going on. But they were like, yes.
Did she win?
Yes.
Wait, did you win?
Wait, she won?
Yes,
she won?
I won. I won. And so when I took every jump, like even during warm-ups, like literally just warming up, they're like, there you go, Q. So it was just kind of like, I'm talking about, it was like literally high knees. Yeah, you do the high knees. And so I'm like,
right.
But just having my family there and they were just cheering me on, like, it was like I felt like a winner before like the competition started, and then once I won and how everyone was just so happy and they were cheering me on, that's one moment I just really appreciate, because I was like, we won. Like I feel like we all won. Like my entire family was there, like community was there, and I feel like that was one of the best ones. So it's up there with Olympian.
There with it, right?
Yes.
It's up there with it, right?
Because this one, it was great, going to Olympics, but, having your family there and just having, like, my little sisters seeing, like, my CC's a national champion.
Right.
And they're able to see all that. It's more than me. And so the Olympics, like, yes, that's up there. It's really great.
Absolutely, right.
But, like, even after winning and you have the flowers and stuff, you're just like...
Yeah. Well, because of this year, because of COVID, because of everything like that,
so
everybody couldn't travel, right?
Yeah, and so then it's like everyone was texting me and calling me, but it's different, when everyone's there, you can hug them and everything like that.
Exactly.
So I definitely think that's the tie for the best.
So what as we can gather from your story, as well as you know what you just shared as one of your best track, you know, family is very important to you,
very,
right?
Yes, very.
Yeah, could you go into that? Like, how do you feel about them, and what part do they play in developing, you know, who you are as a professional athlete now?
Everything. Like, because every time, like, if practice gets hard or I get frustrated, I just go back to, like, you know, my why, my purpose is my sisters. And, like, my Grammy, she doesn't know anything about track, really. Like, she literally to this day, she's like, you still doing that track stuff?
That track
Grandma.
stuff. Ain't that how it is when somebody does something like your little track thing?
Yeah. I'm like,
you still running around the little track and all that?
Like, Grammy, you act like you don't come to the meets. Like, you act like you didn't see me win. Like, Grammy, like, so what you doing out there in Louisiana? You just like smooth out here? It's all like, Grandma, listen. Like, and it's all literally like, write down my events. Like, you see them, like, write them down. But talking to her, like, when things get hard, I just go back and talk to her, and she doesn't know any, like, she's like, so just come home. I'm like, Granny, like, you know,
like
she don't get it. And so it's just good to be able to go back, because they look at me just as Quanesha, like, not always talk about track. Like, when I, like, made the Olympian team, my sister, I'm calling them, you know, I'm like, yeah, right after, like, one. Right. So I called them, I'm like, hey, they're like, hey, Cece. I was like, did you see, like, you know, I'm going to the Olympics. I'm an Olympian. Yeah, Cece. But anyway, so we got first place at my travel basketball tournament in Tennessee.
That's so funny.
Just like,
that's so funny,
like, just
You brought me down to AAU.
literally, like, so I just said, I'm going to the Olympics. I'm Olympian. You tell me. I said, well, good job, girl. Yeah, thank you, Cece. We're the best. And I'm like, and have not said anything else about the Olympics.
Funny,
like, nothing else. So
that is
it's
hilarious.
like, seeing them, I think it's like they're my motivation, and honestly, just to, like, give them, like, something I didn't have, and just, like, you know, the traveling.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so now they're going to get on a plane soon.
Oh, man.
And they're like, Cece, I don't know about this. I'm like, you're going to be fine.
Yeah,
and so I'm like
good.
preparing them for
Right,
that. And
right.
so they usually always come down during my off season. My sisters always come visit me. And I always just like to share, like, you know, just get them, like, exposed to, like, different things.
Something
and
outside,
like that.
right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so family is very important. And that's why I emphasize it a lot. Like, I'm like, I want a family. Like, I was like, I want a family. Like, that's why I was like, my goal was like, you're going to get married, have a family.
Right.
And I was like, I'll be fine.
Right,
But God was like, just wait.
Just
But
wait, I got you.
yeah, but I love family. So I feel like it kind of goes with, like, me, like, my major with elementary education of, like, being a teacher. I was like, I want to be a teacher, and I love kids. And so after I train every day, I nanny and tutor on the side. Like, I love kids, and I just love that family, like, just the orange, like, just
So if y'all looking
everything.
for an expert babysitter, man,
Yes.
holla at the girl.
The price did just go up.
Them Olympic price is different.
Look,
We're gonna put that on the resume too.
No, I just like a babysitting family, because I babysit all the time, and, like, I had just got back on babysitting. I was just like, hey, like, you know, are you available to babysit? Girl, I'm an Olympian, like, girl. I was like, I just came back from the Olympic trials. I'm an Olympian. She was like, oh, I'm sorry. I was like, yeah, girl. So we off the clock, honey. Like, it's okay. Listen, because she just said it so casually. Are you ready?
That's funny.
Going to the Olympics.
That's funny.
No, yeah. If you need to do anything, you know, I may start it back up. But I don't know. Right now, I'm an Olympian.
Yeah. Focus on that, man. You know what I'm saying?
What was that moment like? When was that moment in Alabama where it clicked and you knew you belonged, and you knew you just a dog at what you did, like just a beast? Like every person has that moment. We like, you know what? I arrived. I know I'm good without being arrogant or conceited, but that inner confidence, like, you know, I'm a beast at what I do. Like, when was that specific moment, Alabama, when that happened?
I think when I went undefeated, I was undefeated like the entire season.
Sheesh.
And no one was just scaring me. But my coach he instilled a lot of confidence in me. And he kind of, like, my freshman year, he was like, you need to be arrogant. And I was like, what does that mean? And so I went and looked it up. I looked it up. I was like, arrogant? I was like, this is not a good word. I don't want to do this. Because freshman year, I'm telling you guys, I was like, hey, you know, hi, you guys. Like, he's like, don't be talking to them. I was like, okay. And then they would beat
That's so funny.
No, and they would beat me. And so he's like, you see, look, get your tail. And I'm like,
Right.
And so he was like, we're on a mission. So he kind of started instilling that in me. And then he was like, look at you. You see, they're jumping. You didn't make the finals. You see that? And I'll just be like, And so I was like, you know what? I don't like this because they're not friendly to me no more.
Right.
Like they beat me and stuff. And
Right.
so I think one time at practice, I was jumping just so good and I wasn't even thinking about it. It was just like boom, boom, boom. Like it was to the point we would do like 4 jumps. Usually people take about 8 jumps, but I would legit sit there and I'd be like, he like, let's go. I'm like, all right, boom, boom, boom. He's like, we're good. And we would go to the meets and he would just be like, listen, you already know what to do. He was like, go jump 22 feet, 5. He was like, let's shut this down. We got the 100 run. I'm like, all right. And so I would go up there and I do exactly what he said. And I'm like, boom, jump it. And I'm like, bye. And then girls be like, what? And I just be like, because I don't talk to him now. I don't talk to him. I don't talk now.
Don't let him take your energy. Don't let him take your energy.
But I think being undefeated for that whole year, it was like from sophomore year all the way to junior year. And I think junior year I lost outdoors. So I went almost 2 years, like 2 seasons undefeated the entire time.
That's crazy.
And it was, I mean, everyone's like, a lot of people can't do that.
Yeah.
But I would say, going with that question, it was like hard for me to lose because I was winning. So when I lost, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know. Yeah, that was like second place at nationals. I thought this is the end of the world. I was like, I don't want that. I was like, no. I was like, what is second place? Like, and my coach was like, you got second at nationals. I don't care. It's second. Like, you're first, you're last. When I tell you I was on that mission.
You're not first, you're last.
Right. But I think then, like, how I was at practice and how I was undefeated, and I would go to every meet just like, I was just like, no one's beating me. Like, I was like, the only way you're going to beat me if I beat myself. And I was like, that's not happening because my bad is still better than your good. And that was from being arrogant. He taught me all the arrogance and stuff. But it did help me because SEC, I mean, it's a dog-eat-dog world out there. Like, you know, no one's guaranteed to win. And someone's trying to, like, you know, take your championship from you anytime you get. And then be like, good job, girl. And you got second. So, honestly, I think that was a time when I just went undefeated. I was undefeated for so long. And then I was wearing my national championship ring. And so I'm like, these football players, like, what's up? We both winning national championships up here. Like, no, I'm on the field with them. I'm like, yeah, like, and so you couldn't tell me nothing. I think we had lost one year. I was like, I got more national championships than y'all. So, I definitely think, when I went undefeated for like almost 2 seasons.
So to go along with that, man, I wanted to read something from Coach Vince Anderson. He's a coach at Texas A&M, sprint coach there. So this is what he says. He says, track athletes have the courage of boxers and more. For every track athlete, it's not 1 versus 1. For every track athlete, it's 1 versus 7 or 8 as far as sprints go. All of who are trying to drop you, right? That harshness creates an elevated pressure requiring a special kind of courage that few athletes across all sports have. It is one thing to go to war with 10 people on your side against 11 others. It's quite another thing to climb in the ring and fight 8 other trained killers by yourself. So how does that pressure that because nobody's out there but you, right? Mm-hmm. You know, your coach is there, but you know, he on the side, or he or she is on the side, right? How do you are you just so used to it that it's not something that you even think about? Or is it more of a thing that you can't think about it because if you think about it, you're on crack?
Definitely that. Because, like, if you think about the pressure, like, if you, like, allow that pressure to get to you, you're not going to do good. Right. Like, not at all. And I feel like that's one thing I did struggle with at the beginning because you want to be great. You want to do it. And you know there's, like, 7 or 8 other person, like, you know, people out here that train, like, as hard as you have. And so I've learned to just, like, block it out. Yeah. And just kind of just, like, down into myself. And so this is Eric Thomas motivation video I watch every single time before I compete. And at the end he says, be phenomenal or be forgotten. And he was like, how bad are you on it? And I just feel like he was like, if you're gonna lose, like, basically if you're gonna lose, like, just let them whoop you, but like don't let like you beat yourself. And I feel like a lot of people, it's mental, like they try to do things or they get in the way of their own success. And I remember I lost one time and it was at that when I went undefeated. Right. And at nationals, when I was undefeated, and at nationals, I was like, just like trying to do something, like getting away my own success, and I lost. And I was like, you beat yourself, because like they didn't even jump nothing that you can't jump. Right. You out here just had a bad day because you got caught up in your own head. Right. And so after that, I was just like, if you're gonna lose, they're gonna just beat you like fair and square, but you're not gonna beat yourself for sure. But I definitely feel like pressure is one thing, like. You can, like, it can get the best of you.
Gotcha. Yeah. that. I mean, that, and we've seen it. We've seen it get to a lot of people, right? Like I'm very involved in the sport. As a coach and as that's all I am right now. I'm a coach, right? I used to participate. Now that how do you think? Well, because the Olympics will look like it's not going to be, participating, but with a lot of spectators, right? What do you foresee? Do you foresee it being any tougher? Because a lot of people might not know, but the U.S. team is easily the hardest team that anyone will ever have to make, right?
Yes. All
right. So just describe the process of making an Olympic team. Like what all do you have to go through? Like, of course, standards and all that. Go ahead and run it to the audience. Let them know like what it actually means to be on the U.S. track and field team.
Oh no, for sure. It's the hardest team to make. One, like I was talking to my friend Christina. They made the team in the hurdles, and then my friend Shelby, they made it high jump. And
give the last name so everybody could look
Christina
them up.
Manning, she does hurdles, and Shelby McEwen, he's a high jumper. And we always were just on the phone. We were just talking. And we were just like, they're like, yeah, like I had to take a break, like afterwards because it's so much emotions you put into the trials. And so when I got back, I was just like, I gotta get away from here because I was like, you invest so much into trials because it's so hard because you can go in like number 1 in the world record holder. Right. You can go in, it doesn't matter what, and you not make the team. It's that hard. As in the other countries, if you get the standard, you make the team. You have like Olympic standards, and basically you have like the USA qualifying standards, and you have the Olympic standards. So the qualifying standards, some people can't even get that in other countries. Right. And so we have our USA qualifying standards, and it's like 670, so it's like 22 feet like flat, and that's to compete at the Olympic trials. And then if you don't have that, you can get in, but then the Olympic standard is 22.5. Right. So a lot of countries, a lot of athletes like did not even jump that far. With our country, the standard's not an issue. Right. It's you gotta do it that day.
You gotta do it that day.
Yes. Right. And so it's like going into it, it's like you preparing, every 4 years, and this year was 5. Right. For a track meet that you have to be your best at. Like, usually
one day, right?
One day, yeah, literally. It's like, it's like crazy, you don't have to be perfect, but it's like you have to. So just imagine like you can.
Perfect, but you have to.
You have to, like literally. It's like, if you slip up, you're done. And I think that like,
Hey, that's a good title for the pod, right there. That's a good title for this episode. You don't have to be perfect, but you have to.
Literally. And people are just like kind of thinking like, you're trying out for the Olympics. Yes, and then like, are you gonna make the team? Listen, man. I don't know because at this point, I'm doing great. Like you can be, like I said, like you can be number 1 in the world and still go to Olympic trials and not make the team.
Right.
Wow.
You have to be on your stuff, like on top of it that day. And so, like I was like when I was training leading up to this, I was dealing with the injury and everything, and I didn't have the standard. I didn't have the Olympic standard. And honestly, I was just kind of like I wasn't really stressed because I was like, to make the team, you're gonna have to jump the Olympic standard anyways, because that's how hard our team is to make. Right. As in other countries, you'll be just fine. And so I basically got the standard, and then when I went there, just to see like so many people, like former Olympians that didn't even make the team this year. Wow. I was like, oh gosh, and they're making their post like going to make my second team, and then they made that post, I'm like,
it ain't work out.
Right. And so then you have people like the college kids, which
going off
because college kids at like another country, they would be superstars right now. Right. So you have the college kids and you have the professional athletes all come together, and them college kids want it more because they have the experience too. They've been doing a lot of meets, and they're hot and they're ready, and so they're like, it's everyone's dream. And so getting there, seeing like people that weren't like favorites make the team and made the team, and people that were like number 1 in the world didn't make the team, like won a medal, didn't make the team. Like, I mean, even like, like I was competing like, with one of the former like the last Olympics, the Olympic champion. Yeah. And like she didn't make the team. And so it's like nobody's safe. Like
nobody's safe. Anybody could get it.
No, literally. Like so it's like you can go in being on top, you can go in the bottom, and you better be on it.
Be on the podium. You better be on the podium at the end.
So what's something that you do that you would say, all right, it's game time? I know, Doug, you probably just stuff you did right before the game that was just specific to what you have to do. Like, what's something that you do that may be just your thing that you just like is what I do. It's right before time, and I'm gonna get myself lined up to go. Or just if not anything quirky or anything specific, just what's your mind frame on it?
Well, I have a little thing. I eat a big breakfast and I only eat once a day. That's it. I feel like if I eat anything else, I'm gonna feel heavy and I need to fly. So I eat one big breakfast. Like I'm telling you, it's a big breakfast though, but I eat one big breakfast and I have my devotional and then I listen to Eric Thomas and I have my TD Jakes motivational.
Both of them will get you.
Yeah, so it's like, yes, Jesus, let's go turn up. And then I got my Eric Thomas and then I eat with some meat meal. So then when I have all that, I'm like,
Eric Thomas,
like, hold on, wait a minute. I'm like,
there you go. That's a trifecta right there.
Like literally, it's
Hold on, wait a minute.
like you have to hype yourself up.
Yeah.
So I like be in my room and I'm like practicing my jump, like boom, boom, boom. You're gonna do this. You're gonna do this. Like, I have myself up. I would say at the Olympic trials this year, I was like, oh Lord, you need to save your energy. But I literally got like a sports psych actually, and because a lot of people think, oh, like if you're great, like you're great, but I'm like, it's mental, like
Absolutely.
it's physical, like it's mental and physical, and a lot of people be embarrassed about it. Let me tell you something. My sports psych is on it.
Yep.
I call her right before because you start thinking about so much you can consume because you want to do great, and I was like, I need like kind of calm. I saw my anxiety like going up and I was getting nervous and self-doubt can come.
Right.
So I call her, like she stay on go and I'm like, listen. And she's like, let's breathe, come on. And so then we'll do it. And so we have to write down like, I am an Olympian, this is what you're gonna do. And so honestly, having my sports psych really helped me calm down because leading up to the trials, like all you hear like all your life is like, are you gonna be Olympian? Like, are you gonna make the team? And you hear it like for every single day, like, could be like, what do you do for a living? Professional athlete. So you train for the Olympics?
Right.
And are you gonna make the team? Oh, I mean, that's a plan. And so then when you get there, so I'm like 5 years, people been asking me, I've been telling myself like, yeah. And it's like in literally like 5 hours, I'm about to go compete and I need to be my best and make top 3 and make this team.
Wow.
And I was like, I was like, at that day, I was like, I have to do something I've never done before. I'm going to have to jump far than I ever jumped before because it's going to take that to make the team.
Wow. Crazy.
And like in the sports psych, so we were on the phone because she was on go. Like she was talking to everyone because she had like a lot of Olympians and a lot of professional athletes she was talking to. And she's like, listen, you can't control the results right now. And so she did a thing of like, it's process goals, performance goals, and outcome goals. And so the process goals is basically like, what can you do? So that means like have a consistent run. So if I have a consistent run, I can jump far. And then that will lead to my performance goal of like, I would jump far. And the outcome will be making the team.
Wow.
She was like, so don't focus on your outcome goal because when you start focusing on the outcome goal, make a team. She's like, you're missing them steps. And then she was like, you're overwhelmed. You have this fear and you start having self-doubt and your anxiety because you're kind of like, oh my gosh. So she always had to bring me back to like, the process goal. And so that's what we did that day of. I remember she was like, hey,
that's dope.
What's your process goal? And I was like, girl, this is the day that we're going to find out who on the Olympics. You talking about process goal. Like, girl, we here for the outcome goal right now.
Tell me something else.
And she was like, go back to the process goal. I'm like,
I love that.
We're going to push out the back. And she was like, okay. And then when you push out the back, she said, what's something you have? I was like, my speed. She said, so are we going to use our speed in the right direction? I was like, yes. She was like, that's all you want to focus on. I'm like, do the Olympics. And she was like,
gonna take care of itself,
and
man.
so she kind of got me down to that. And so I went into like the meet. I was like, push hard at the back, run through the board. And I knew the performance was going to come and I knew the outcome would be, making the team. And so I went in just with that. And it made me like just to not think so much. And everything was like simple. I'm like, girl, just go push out the bag.
Right.
Girl, hold on. They're gonna give me a word, boy.
Well, look, I was sitting there thinking the same thing. I'm like, God, dang,
because no, that's for real. If you you don't make me get on Siki first, but if you take care of the stuff that you're supposed to take care of when you're supposed to take care of it, and keep your focus on that, the jump will take care of itself. The link, the qualification, all that stuff. That's life, man. I know it's for the jump.
Oh, no,
but you just gave some evergreen life just a minute ago, because that process is amazing for, I think, all aspects of life. Whenever you're doing something, sometimes we get so caught up on the end goal or the outcome or what we want, when, those thoughts aren't the ones we shouldn't take first. We should go ahead and get to the process and then the Come on, tell me the process.
Process and the performance.
Get the performance.
And then you get to the outcome.
And the outcome, that's it.
Period.
PPO, I got that.
That's crazy.
Let's go. I love it.
Look, I'm gonna give a shout out because it's Miss Sindra, and she has a book. It's called I think Beyond the Grid, and that's where it's in. And so we're reading that book.
So what's her name again?
Sindra. Miss Sindra, I love you, Miss Sindra.
We'll find it. We'll put it.
We'll put it out there.
Yeah, no, it's a great book that I'm reading, and so that's in the book, and it talks about that, and it really focuses on entrepreneurs and like athletes and everyone, because I mean I can apply that to life, like in relationships and everything.
Right.
And once she told me that, everything just like, you're just like, wow. And I feel like in life, we like focus on like, what we're going to do. We want to do this by 30. Like my mom was like,
right.
I need to do this. I need to be married by this time. I need to do this. So it's like, okay, let's start from the process. Are you even dateable right now? Like,
are you dateable? Hold on. Are you dateable?
Like, are you even available to even date? And so you're trying to focus on a husband, but focus on yourself. And I mean, I use it for myself, and that's why now I'm like,
hey man, hey, you know what? When we doing the next podcast?
I like talking about relationships.
Dropping the balls, man.
But I mean, it's the steps. I mean, I think so people like get caught up on like the outcome. Like, I want a husband, I want this, but it's like, let's go back to like, are you even qualified to even be in a relationship to be in a commitment for a marriage? And I know I ain't. So let me say, I'm still in I'm still in the process. Like,
that's good. That's good to know, man.
No,
you know where you at, man.
Yeah, because I'm ready for the outcome. Because I'm like, that's a commitment, and I see so many people rush into it, and it's like they're divorced. It's like you didn't know the person, like you didn't know yourself, and you needed them to like complete you.
No performance.
No performance. Just skip all that. So it's life, and definitely. I love the process, outcome, and process, performance, and outcome. I love that mindset, and so that's what going back to track. What really helped me.
A word.
Girl, listen.
Boom.
Girl, listen to me. Seriously. Listen to me. You done took me out. I think I done got it. Now I ain't trying to.
Prophetess.
Prophetess Olympian.
Put the Olympian on it.
Look,
man, bro.
Listen. This has been wonderful.
Yeah.
We appreciate you taking the time. Because you're an Olympian now, and all the other accolades. We're proud of you. It's good to meet you. First of all, we're proud of you. We're in agreement with you for all the best outcomes. We're looking for goal, all that good stuff. We'll pray with you when we get off air and all that good stuff. But I think this is dope. We appreciate you just coming spend time with us.
Before we get off, is there anything that you want to put out that before any kind of pub that you're doing? Anything you pubbing right now that before you roll out?
Well, we're gonna have a shirt release soon.
Okay.
In the process, so hey, my dog's like, go follow, okay?
Right, please.
Listen, don't because if you're gonna be like a ghost follow, go purchase then, okay?
Yeah, right.
Go purchase.
Get the merch. Get the merch.
No, literally. But if I could say anything, I just want to tell like the young people out there, like, don't give up on yourself, believe in yourself, like honestly. And I have my shirt future is like says trust the process.
Trust the process.
Yeah.
It says trust God, the process in yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
And that's really been my approach with life. And people see the celebration, like, oh, you're Olympian, but they don't know the hard work that was put behind to be where I am. Because a lot of people like laughed at me, like they gave up on me, like a lot of people didn't know, but I didn't lose focus on like what I wanted to do. So if you're out there, it doesn't matter if you're old or not, just focus on yourself and believe and remember to trust God, the process in yourself, and just watch God's promises all lay out for you.
Yep. Straight up. This has been evergreen, man.
Yeah.
I'm excited. You're actually our first in-person guest too.
Right.
So,
That's true.
Really?
So that's
Oh,
dope.
Yeah.
Dope.
Friend.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like God is good, bro.
God is
like
good,
that's what I'm
man.
saying. Like to have an Olympian at this point in the stage of the early stages of our podcast, going to 6th episode.
Yep.
that's not
And
normal.
and it to be this good.
And to be this good.
And the story, man. From my story, man, it's
dope.
Yeah.
Oh, but I got another question. Where are you training at right now for the Olympics?
At LSU.
Oh, okay.
So yes.
Okay.
Wait. I feel.
Okay. No, that's it. No.
It's still roll tide.
No.
I said go Tigers. Go Tigers.
That's all I want to know. That's all I want. Hey, this has been the Evergreen Podcast.
Brought to you by. Oh man, this has been great.
Best believe she get it every day.
I bet.
Y'all beat us. Oh Lord.
It's all love. It's all love.
Oh child.
But we appreciate it. We appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
And we'll do this again. We'll do this after you get the gold. After you get the gold and you come back, you bring the medal back. And we'll do this again.
Yes, for sure.
That's
Thank
dope.
you.
All right, y'all. This has been the Evergreen Podcast. So make sure y'all follow.
Shout out Swag.
Shout out to Swag. Shout out to Jam. Shout out to EJ, Jamal out there holding us down with the sound crew and everything, and the cameras, and we sound good and look good because of them. Right. So shout out to them. And y'all make sure y'all follow, subscribe, check us out, share this with somebody, and we're rolling.
Make sure we're watching our girl in the
Yes,
in the
I will
Olympics,
compete August the 1st and the 3rd.
August the 1st and the 3rd.
Yes.
Got it. Yep. We own it.
On it.
Thank you.
All right, we out.